I have never told this story. Not to my children, not to my sisters, not to anyone. I have carried this for 50 years. 50 years of waking up on a certain day in October and knowing what that day meant and not being able to say a word about it to anybody. My granddaughter thinks I am going to talk about my garden today. I am not. I was 21 years old. I had a 1-year-old baby at home, and I was 3 months pregnant with my second child. And my husband, the man I had married, the man I had trusted, the man I had built my whole life around, left. He just left. No warning, no conversation. He was there on a Tuesday and gone by Thursday, and I never heard from him again. I want you to understand what that moment felt like. Not the anger, not even the heartbreak. I want you to understand the terror. I had a baby on my hip and another one growing inside me, and I had $32 in the bank account and no way to reach the man whose name was on it. I had no job. I had dropped out of school when we got married because that was what you did. I had nothing. I called my mother, and she came over and she looked at me, and she looked at the baby, and she sat down at my kitchen table, and she said, "Maria, you cannot do this alone. You cannot do this." And I knew what she meant. She did not say the words right away, but I knew. We did not talk about it for 2 weeks. 2 weeks where I just existed. I fed my baby. I stared at walls. I tried to figure out if there was any way at all that I could do what felt impossible. I called every person I could think of. I looked for work. I did the math over and over, and the math always came out the same. I could not take care of 2 babies alone with nothing. I want to be careful here because I do not want to tell you it was an easy decision. It was not. It was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, and I have done hard things. I have buried people I loved. I have been alone in ways that would break you. None of it came close to this. I went to a Catholic adoption agency. I remember the building. I remember the smell of it. I remember the woman behind the desk who was kind to me in a way that made me cry because I had not expected kindness. She explained everything. She told me the baby would go to a good family, a family that was ready, a family that wanted a child more than anything. I signed the papers on a cold morning in January. I was 5 months pregnant. My hand was shaking so badly I could barely write my name. I went home, and I did not tell a single person what I had done. Not my mother, not my sisters, not my friends. I just went home, and I put it somewhere deep inside myself, and I closed the door on it. I had a little girl in April. I held her for 1 hour. They let me hold her for 1 hour. She had dark hair and the tiniest fingers I had ever seen, and she smelled the way all new babies smell, and I memorized every single part of her face because I knew that was all I was ever going to have. I named her in my heart. I never told anyone the name, but I named her. And then I gave her to a nurse. And I walked out of that hospital, and I got into my mother's car, and I did not say a word the whole drive home. I went on to have 2 more children years later, and I loved them God, I loved them with everything I had, but there was always a space, a quiet space that I kept for her. On her birthday, every year, I would find a moment alone in the bathroom, in the car, anywhere, and I would let myself think about her. Just for a minute, just enough to say, I remember you. I have not forgotten you. For 50 years, I did that alone. I used to wonder things. Does she know she is adopted? Does she look like me? Did she have a good life? Did she ever wonder about me? Did she ever hate me for what I did? That last one was the one that stayed with me the most. Because how could she not? How do you not wonder why your mother gave you away? I need you to understand something, even if it is hard to hear. I did not give her away because I did not want her. I gave her away because I wanted her to have something I could not give her. I wanted her to have a mother who could actually be there, a family that was stable, a childhood that was not built on desperation and fear and $32 and a woman who was barely holding herself together. I made the only decision I could see at the time, and I have had to live with it every day since. I am telling you this now because I am 73 years old and I am tired of carrying it alone. My granddaughter is sitting behind that camera right now and she does not know what she is about to hear. And I am sorry to put this on her, but I cannot take this secret to my grave. If she ever sees this, my daughter, my first daughter, I want her to know that I thought about her every single year. I want her to know her birthday was never just a day to me. I want her to know that what I did was not about not loving her. It was the most painful kind of love. The kind where you give someone up because you love them too much to keep them in a life they deserve better than. I do not know if she is looking for me. I do not know if she ever wondered. But if she did, if there is any part of her that needed to know she was not forgotten, she was never forgotten. Not for one single day. I am sorry it took me 50 years to say that out loud. I hope you found a good life, baby girl. I hope you were happy. I hope somebody loved you the way you deserve to be loved. I named you Grace.